Hello, patron. Thank you for supporting GB Podcasts on Patreon.com. It is insanely hard to keep up with the throughput of these podcasts, but with your support, it is possible. This is not the normal spiel, by the way, Dr. Aggro. This is tapping into the here and now of holy fuck, keeping up with all these goddamn podcasts. How many times has Casey
What's the RSS feed going up, Dan?
Right before I pull the trigger. Or maybe after. We'll see.
Man, you need a fucking intern or some shit.
I know! But thank you very much for your support. I guess we'll launch right into it. I feel like that was the messiest ending to a game show I've ever fucking heard. It's like one of the black ladies on Family Feud stood up and was like, well, thank you for coming to my game show.
Okay,
I think
what we need
is a
to
good
do
word
is
for it.
I need to go to Phil's house when I host and get like a cattle prod. Every time he tries to host my show.
I only did it at the end. It was a bit.
I know.
But it's
I lived it. I was there.
It's 5 times. It was so amazing.
I attempted to explain why I thought Bob was the winner, and I think I died 4 times attempting to get there. But we made it.
I loved being the producer on this podcast because I'm just sending KZ these notes of like, ask what philosophies fucking Aggros taps into, and his response of anything that ends with an ism that makes a philosophy professor's eyes roll up into the back of their head. I was like, yes, this is fucking perfect. See, this is the bullshit. This is the reason
Ask
we
if it features Shiki Tono was in the messages.
Oh no!
What?
I was wondering where that came from.
Yeah, I was like,
well, this seems like a weird deep cut for
I'm like, is
KZ?
KZ panicking or is
Yeah, I
he
was
being
like,
brilliant?
Yeah, I was like, KZ doesn't know what that is.
Also, in the pluses for Bob, it says diversity and glad he's not making Final Fantasy 13 and 15, so I subbed it out for 9 to make more people upset.
yeah,
yeah,
like,
I noticed
what is
that,
this?
and I thought that was hilarious.
If
I'm like,
anything, I am making 9.
You're making
I can't
5
wait
Ds
for
and
I
you
can't
know-
wait for somebody to hit Bob's villain real hard and his motorcycle helmet breaks, and then it's just Garland from Final Fantasy 1. Why? Because you know who Garland is, right?
Garland's raw.
you hear studio applause. Okay, so
And then he goes, I'm gonna knock you all down, and you just hear like orchestral cheering.
yep.
I would clap.
It's basically Dancing Mad, but with a studio applause going constantly in the background. So as always with the show, the crux of the show is cutting your incredibly well-prepared plans down with fucking errant questions aimed at weird corners and then not allowing you any time to talk about the shit you want
It's the best. It's the best part of the format.
unless you interrupt
And
the ending.
inevitably you get asked something that you did not prepare and have to just make shit up on the spot.
Casey starts asking these two about which industry professionals he's got. I was like, oh shit, I did not
No, I
think
had
of
that prepared. I had that prepared for all of them because I knew somebody would ask.
What was interesting was I knew not to ask industry professionals to Dr. Aggro because he seemed way too fucking prepared.
See, this was my strategy. I thought I had this if I could intimidate him enough with bullshit to not ask probing follow-up questions.
Because I bet it was a glass house, right? It was just like nothing there other than
the
what you
DLC
saw.
plan? I mean,
it's
the DLC plan's so solid.
It's just the DLC plan and no game.
What are you talking about?
The fact that I had no cons for Dr. Aggro prepared initially, but as I finished the pluses, I went, this is my shot.
Yeah, no, that almost broke my brain because it's exactly the kind of bullshit my pitch was built out of.
I just imagine KZ asking Aggro who the director was, and KZ's like, David Lynch.
Okay, so real quick, just break down for them, just what, don't go super in depth, Aggro, but what was the titles of the DLCs? Because it came hard and fast in that podcast.
It did. I couldn't believe he had names for all of them.
Oh no, yeah,
He's got blurbs underneath each of them. I'm about to ask him to give me this document so I can post it.
I have the entire first year of
Are you
DLC
fucking
planned out.
kidding?
No, he's got
The Second Great Awakening, Mimsy Were the Burrow Groves, The Weak Anthropic Principle, Samsara, Beyond Two Souls, Cloud, Pillar 43, and Seasons in Residence Toward the Illustrium, Fate of Sacrifice Congenius.
Can you believe Aggro DMs? Those are all solid names. Bob, I feel bad. I feel like in that episode you didn't get... Like, you were just caught off guard at all times.
Yeah,
it just didn't work out for
some
you today.
reason, I just couldn't get into a good groove at all.
Yeah. But
I still won by default.
But yes.
Coward.
What breakdown for me? Like, I know a huge corner with yours. Like the main crutch of it, the main point of it is that it's turn based but really hyper polished. Which is why it was that much funnier when KZ's complaint is, it won't be. Right. Like, that was beautiful.
Yeah, no, the whole thing is like, they're going to get enough animation, so if you do a hidden enemy in the field, we'll be able to smoothly transition to his friends jumping out of the bushes in the background.
That's called Discord cuts out halfway into what you said, and I'm like, all right, I'm just going to assume this is what's going on.
Make a gut call.
Yeah. Discord, perfect service for producing a podcast, let me tell you.
Yes.
Makes my life easy. So
there you go. I've given you the notes in a rich text format.
Oh, thank you. So how many of these situations did you prepare, like, battle transitions wise? Did you just like, oh, here's if this happens, here's if that happens, or was it that one example?
Oh, it's everything. So like if the enemy attacks you, you bump backwards, and then your friends like pop out from the background, and you start the battle right there.
Oh, okay.
And then if you like run to on the motorcycle, you get knocked off of it if you don't do the attack.
Okay.
There's always something.
If I was the host, I would have been like, when you said the whole like a single button press will do an attack, I would have just busted your ass and been like, yeah, like Mario RPG.
Yes.
Not
this
Persona 5.
This is very inspired by Mario RPG as well. But I was like, Persona 5 is more relevant.
Yes, it is more relevant.
And
but Spaceman would have literally
I was also gonna say was gonna have combos kind of like almost if you do timing hits, kind of like 8. You get farther combos.
Oh, like gun swords.
Yes, like gun swords.
What was it you said, Aggro? You're like, your game doesn't have sword guns, right? Or something like that. And then Bob's like, no. And I was like, what about gun blades? But you were going to ask him something?
I was going to say, this world map smoothly transitioning into the random encounter thing really smacks of Quest 64.
There's no random encounters. You see the enemy on the field.
Shut the...
So no, it's not Quest 64.
Bob, random encounter is an
Oh
industry
god,
term.
doesn't that mean it's Tales of Zestiria?
Yes,
Yes,
that's what
but good.
That's what I immediately thought of.
No, there's no way to make that good. That's poison. It's toxin rot. You just poured in the soul of.
No, you don't get to actually move your characters around like in that. So you can save it. They'll be able to jump you. You'll be able to move. When you get hit, you'll move far enough back.
No,
to
that's
actually
Dr.
make enough
Aggro's
room.
game. It jumps you and steals your money.
Yes.
Feel. You barely got to talk about the premise of your plot.
Okay,
like,
so
you
first,
talked
I
about
wanna
your
say
characters.
it's funny.
Yeah.
I want to say it's funny that KZ. First of all, every single bullet point was stolen. The one series I did not explicitly steal from is the one KZ insinuated I did. So the hub base I just stole from Mass Effect because I was like, Western reviewers like this hub-based. Western RPGs like Deus Ex and Mass Effect use.
Yeah. So with the high school setting sort of thing, or
I just went with it based off gameplay alone, where you
I stole from half a dozen compile art games.
God.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was Grandia or Growlancer, but I was wrong.
Yeah, it's common. I just was like, if it's just turn-based, I was going to go into a bit where, well, game reviewers don't like characters standing in a row. They can do anything, but if the characters are standing in a line, their brains break and they get angry.
Because it looks like old thing and old thing bad. I'm really glad that we could bring up cohesiveness this episode.
My incredibly schlocky plot premise was all the protagonists are students at a school for the children of diplomats, and the entire game takes place in a large urban setting at the center of the world map.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the party members would use Magitech weapons that would allow them to channel the powers of the Aeons, and all your party members would be 8 members of Knights of the Round.
Huh.
And because there's 13 of them, 5 of the others would be villain characters, like the rival squad, like the rivals villain students.
Wait, is this
And then you
also
would
Kingdom
have-
Hearts?
No, Bob, because this is 8 and 5, not 7 and 13.
Okay.
Not 8 and 3. So there's 3 and 5 characters. So you would have stuff like the villain is Anima, like I said. The characters, your protagonist's father would actually channel Great King Moggle from Final Fantasy XIV, who is the super Moogle type summon in Final Fantasy XIV. And the human kingdom would have this big badass general who was Alexander. One of the villains would have Bahamut. It would be very, very Kino. So, and each chapter of the game, the whole game would be in the city, but you'd like unlock sections of it as the game went on. And I had a bunch of fucking notes that meant nothing, like the city of light and darkness. A dark noirish fantasy. And I didn't get into it, but it would have really shallow political elements.
Good.
Because
Good.
there would be relations between the different races, and they'd have you'd go to ghettos for the different races in the city, and nothing of value would be said, but it would make you feel smart from seeing it.
Yeah, it's Pokemon, where they're 1%, and you're like, yeah.
I'm so finally it matured.
Pikachu
the
has
whole
a
magic-
don't tread on me bumper stick.
Oh yeah, it'd be on par with BioShock 1, where it's objectivism bad. Do you have anything else to say? No.
No, good.
Not
I'm
really.
done. We're done here. It's fine.
Do you have any more specific criticisms? No. No, not really.
So Aggro, with
I
your-
also designed
yeah.
half the party and an entire skill system.
Oh my god!
Well, you did draw twice as much as you were supposed to, so I guess that
I
makes
misunderstood the question.
I
also forgot who we were supposed to draw, so I was like, is either the
Okay.
villain or the protagonist, so I'll just draw
Okay.
both.
You know the funniest part about the drawing section? When I pitched the drawing, I said you guys had to draw the logo, and then Dan turned it into the villain, and then Phil for some reason drew the main character.
yeah, because I'm
I forgot what it was, and I wasn't even here. I was somewhere else, because it was on a break, and I was like, oh god, he either said villain or hero. It was one of those two. I'll just draw fucking both with my little Crayola marker set that I bought at the dollar store.
I was very pumped when I saw the things you bought.
Yeah, I saw that and I thought, oh, wait, was hand drawn a stipulation? I don't remember that.
Once again, Bob prevails in the drawing category.
he's too strong.
I actually used printer paper this time, so there aren't lines on it. It's a lot easier to see. I think I did well.
Yeah.
I may or may not pay someone to draw that protagonist.
Hey, who's the villain?
No, his protagonist.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
assume.
Yeah, I may or may not make that my icon if I do
just-
so
that is-
for 3 weeks.
Halfway through this, when I started literally blacking out and stopped following what people were saying because I was losing my mind over aggros, I was
Yeah.
imagining people trying to draw the box art for these games, and that made me go deeper into that madness.
Your protagonist, Phil, honestly was
Drawing
reminding me of
aggros with a bag of money on it.
aggros would just be empty.
Final
It would be literally nothing.
Final Fantasy
Say
16.
Final Fantasy 16 on it.
And then it says for a price.
Dude, people would love that.
It would
They'd
be an
love when it's
LCD
just-
screen.
No,
like
no, no.
light
Here's
nothing
the
with
thing.
the logo.
It's
That
just
tech
the
demo.
text.
Oh my god.
It's just the text, and like Final Fantasy 15, when you beat the final $74,000 DLC, the logo actually gets its drawing on it.
Ooh.
The back cover just says internet connection required.
The Amano logo is just Aggro rubbing his hands together like a car salesman.
It's that orc from Shadow of War that
Yes,
sells you
he's doing that
microtransactions.
exact thing.
Let's see. I was gonna ask you, Aggro, playtime wise, what is the length of your main game compared
Oh
to
no, I should have fucking asked that.
DLC?
Okay,
Because
So
this is
Because it's totally like 10 minutes.
This is the question.
this depends on how you play it.
That means it's 2 hours.
It's the bouncer. We got him.
How many different combat?
No! I'm so glad I didn't pick that.
How many different combat artifacts you apply will speed or slow down combat. And after a certain point, when you're done doing the main story quests in a district, the game will start procedurally generating bullshit quests for you to do. Because how
God,
sick
it's the
you
Radiant
are.
Quest from Skyrim.
Yes, because how sick you are of an NPC shit is in the menu. You can go and raise it. And if you raise it high enough, your character will stop responding to them in positive ways. And eventually your shitty attitude will start a fight. And that's how you know you need to leave and go do the next part of the game.
That's amazing. Something I really like that I'm not sure KZ picked up on. Bob and Feel split Duragon C. Mikado into two. Feel took the shallow tier of he was wrong, so now he wants to destroy the world. And Bob took suspenders. His power.
Oh my god, the suspenders!
I just
split his great
I'm gonna be
power
real. I
into-
didn't have anything except for the drawing. So I was like, and just in my mind, he's anima. That's raw. So I was like, oh god, I have to come up with something. I just blurted
Okay.
out the most generic thing I could think of.
Yeah.
I hate the fact that one of my positives for you was, that's anima, that's raw.
I mean, it is wrong.
Look, I was like, the villain has to have their face covered so everybody can assume it's somebody you've seen before.
Right.
And the villain has to be raw. So what fulfills
some
both those
asshole.
circumstances?
You see, my villain had his face covered because I wasn't about to draw a face.
No, I want
You
to see
only drew
Yoshitaka
one
Amano
arm.
draw Broly.
You want to see Yoshitaka Amano draw
Broly.
Broly? That would be really good. That would be Jesus Christ. Now I'm just imagining Vampire Hunter D Broly, and that's fucking horrible.
Someone is gonna make fan art of Bob's,
Oh, yes.
See, and that's the
and I'm
thing.
gonna die.
It's gonna be incredible, but I still just part of me wants to see the box art for each of yours because, like, in my mind, Feels is the most base pandering box art of all three. Somehow, with his Aho gay character that is half Moogle.
Well, I mean, it is a compound
I think
heart
I
game.
would just
Right.
I think I would just end up like doing a bunch of weapons clustered together and be like, it symbolizes unity.
Yeah. Now, I had a follow-up question for Feel.
Yeah.
Exactly how much, like percentage-wise, how much of the fan art for your game would be furry porn?
Some, not all of it. There's probably maybe because you'd have a Ron So party member, so there'd be room in there,
Right.
but probably not more than just that.
I've heard Ronso more in this last week than I have in 10 years. How'd this happen?
Hornless. He's a race in 14 now.
Yeah, they put the Ron So in 14, which is why
that's
Okay.
why, Bob.
coming up.
That's why.
Although they're
Nope.
called like the Hrothgar.
No one went back to 10 and was like, I need to talk about Ronso this week.
Hey, it's important. Final Fantasy X. It's coming out in like a week. I'm gonna force Dan to play all of it on stream. It's gonna be great.
This is where
Hey,
Dan would say a thing, but this is audio that's going to be heard by people, and people hold Dan to things he says.
Don't say it,
Look,
man.
they added like a turbo mode. They
did.
give you 1 billion levels for free.
That's the only reason I mentioned it.
I mean, to be honest, guys,
It's a
I've never
good turbo
fucking-
mode. It doesn't speed up your music or your menus.
I haven't even seen half an hour straight of gameplay of 10. I legit don't really know what's in that game.
Oh my god, you have to do it now.
See, that's why
Well,
I
you
wanted
don't-
him to do it, not because
Feels
I want to
that-
see Dan do turn-based.
Look, Dan
I want to
hasn't
see
played with
Dan
any of
react
them.
to Square Enix jank cutscenes again.
I mean, that is That's what I got out of Kingdom Hearts 1.
I want to see the part. I want to see the part where an ethnic cleansing. Dan to see the part where an
Okay, that's all you
cleansing
need to
occurs.
say. That's
No,
all you need to say.
And a character laughs and goes, "Cheer up! It's like fireworks."
I honestly just want hour 2 of Dan trying to beat one game of Blitzball.
He's got to do the Blitzball. He's got to get the Jack shot.
Yeah, I guess that would have been a question we should have asked.
Wait,
Like if anyone had any
I want to talk
mini
about.
games.
I want to talk about the mini game I designed because I designed a really good one.
Okay, I was like, somebody out of all three of us should have, or all three of you should have designed one. I guess Feel was it. Okay.
The aesthetic of my game would be like right after cars started becoming common.
Okay.
So chocobos would kind of be out of fashion as travel.
I thought it was going to be after cars came to theaters.
So
No, DVD.
problem plaguing the city that the game takes place in would be chocobo gangs. So in each district, you would have to find like the chocobo Bancho and do a chocobo race against him. And they would each have like a different design. Like one would be chocobo mask and have like a
really
a motorcycle chocobo helmet.
So Bob, yours had motorcycle gangs.
Yes.
Feels had chocobo gangs.
Uh-huh.
You didn't.
My game has violent street gangs that kill people.
Oh, that's the gangiest gangs of them all.
And also play Tetramaster.
Oh no.
So they basically kill people twice.
I'm really glad we're bringing Tetramaster back.
Yes.
I also
Again.
had as a small bullet point, bringing back triple triad parentheses. Triple triad NPCs look like Yu-Gi-Oh characters.
God.
Don't all your characters look like Yu-Gi-Oh characters?
I didn't want to say it.
Some people have to be brave, Aggro.
Look,
Bravery is the name of the game when it comes to our podcast.
I'm brave enough to say everything should look like a Yu-Gi-Oh character.
Okay, cool.
Spot the Pro Tag should never be a difficult game.
I'm just saying, if you could take Kaiba and remove the early Flash animation part of his look from him, then yeah, I love his design.
Was
Bob.
You know
You
how
got to get those Kino Arc 5 designs, which are the wasted on that show.
I heard that show's great.
What's up, Bob?
you know how I said I want all my characters to have like a motorcycle?
Yes.
I want one of them to have a chocobo, and he's very confident in his chocobo.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
yeah, his chocobo outruns your motorcycles. He can keep up just fine.
Is him and his chocobo have like a machismo energy where they're both just like, yeah, we got this?
Yes,
Or-
of course, always.
okay,
They
okay.
are
'Cause there's the tender version
They're
of that,
basically
too.
butts from Final Fantasy V.
I had that question on deck. Like, does he have a
My
guitar?
God.
Fuck. I'm gonna be real. When I didn't say that as a joke. I seriously started blacking out and couldn't follow anything anyone was saying in the middle
fair,
because I was
we're insane.
losing it.
I just like trying to come up with the question.
I
for
was
Aggro.
too. I had the pressure of having to come up with shit on top of it. It was bad.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, throw some shit at him. And like, the first thing I thought of sending you was so stupid, I deleted it. Because I'm like sending KZ notes for things to ask Aggro. And I'm like, what was it? Let's see. Let me see what I actually did send through to figure out what I didn't send through.
Oh, yeah. I was sitting over there smug as hell thinking,
Your
yeah,
first thing was
ask me
ask
something.
Aggro how cohesive his game is.
Yes. The first one was going to be something about... Oh, man. Let's see. We had homages. We had which philosophical ideas...
Yeah, that's on here.
That's what it was. Before he at the very last second swung into saying that it was Agni. I was gonna be like, ask Aggro what he thinks it means to have a quote main character.
Oh my
That would
god.
have been a solid 10 minutes of bullshit.
Yes.
And then you
You
were
would have
like,
kept talking, and I would have left.
See, when I asked the Redditor question, I almost did a deeper pull, but I'm like, I should ask shit that people will understand. Because I was almost like, Dr. Aggro, will the villain represent the philosophy of the Dark Enlightenment?
the Dark Enlightenment?
The Dark Enlightenment is what fucking neo-reactionaries call their movement.
Okay,
Oh.
I thought it was good. I thought it was gonna be something like this is a power concept in Dominic Deegan.
Oh, God. You excited for Orphan to come back, Aggro? I know this has nothing to do with your pitch, but
Wait, like, isn't he that guy that stabs wizards?
he is a sorceress stabber.
Yeah.
Oh my
He
God.
doesn't stab wizards. He's a sorcerer who also uses a sword to stab people.
Hey, wait. Though the character may have his own opinions on whether or not he's a sorcerer, the title of the anime just says he's kind of sorceress.
Sorceress, yes, but he's not. He's not called that because he stabs wizards.
Okay, I'm going to tell you something that I learned from a random World of Warcraft player back during Vanilla in Goldshire chat when he told me, or rather everyone on the server in /yell, mages are gay with sword.
Mages are gay with sword.
That's influenced a lot of my personal philosophy growing up.
Has it occurred to you that maybe WoW general chat shouldn't influence your philosophy?
Never.
Oh my God. Bob,
turning
Yeah,
into
what's up?
bones.
I'm gonna ask you. I feel like, it's already been sort of asked here, but not literally, and it was asked at the end of the podcast. But I feel like there's a lot of uncovered earth with yours. Like, there's just stuff we don't know. What do you want to talk about right now? Like, you have three fucking pages.
Right. Let's see. I
Oh
want.
my God.
I wanted to have various
Jesus.
nations like want a church that worship the crystal, but I didn't want them to be evil.
Okay.
Like I wanted to explore that, see what we could do without just doing
Without
the
being
obvious
Planet of
call-out.
the Apes 2?
Yes,
Gotcha.
and the same thing with an industrial or heavily industrial nation. Like we see
Okay.
that in Final Fantasy 6 and in 15, where it's like those are the super industrial guys. They're evil. They're
We
real
should have
bad.
asked Bob what fucking philosophies his game was going to cover. What the fuck's wrong with me?
That is the key. Come up with a question for one person, ask it to the next person.
Yeah, no, that's cruel.
Yeah.
I did that in the Tony Hawk one. I can't remember which question it was.
It was-
It made perfect sense for one of them, and then I was like, Bob, you too.
Yeah, like when KZF feel about the combat system, I was like, oh my god, this is what I want to talk about.
Yes, that's how the show works. You never get asked the thing you actually want to ask about.
Right.
so
Feel
good.
fucking doomed you because I wouldn't have asked him, but he opened his elevator pitch with zero things.
Yes, that's because
a fantasy based on reality.
no, I said a reality based on fantasy.
I'm sorry.
Right?
I'm
That's
sorry.
why
I
mine went so
deliberately-
fast.
I deliberately wrote that to mean nothing.
Yes, we talked about. We were joking about that yesterday, Dan.
Yeah.
Also, while we were talking about how I was going to do a pitch for Final Fantasy 15 too.
Yeah. We were talking about he does a pitch for Final Fantasy 15 too. He pitches it as that, the reverse. Yeah, I should turn that. He pitches it as that, the reverse of Final Fantasy 15's pitch,
Which,
and that's insane.
like, I sat on that for like 10 minutes, and I was like, Final Fantasy 15 has the most nothing of any Final Fantasy. There's literally nothing
yeah.
to continue with. I can't even do this. I
We
hate
also had a giant discussion about that, where it's just like
I would have
you
loved
fucking-
to see you attempt to make a sequel out of a game that just went. It's done. That story's done.
Yeah, I feel like you can follow up 6 more easily than 15.
Definitely.
And
No,
fif-
here's what you do. Here's what you do.
Okay, go
The
on.
night before they went into insomnia and Noctis died,
Hey, Aggro, you're cool with 15 spoilers, right?
we already spoiled it. I already fucking spoiled it earlier in this recording, so we're a little
How does
late.
this keep happening on podcast?
Look, the game's done now.
I greenlit this fucking idea where you were like, we should do that. So I was like, yes. And then I turned to Bob and I was like, because
And
he can't
KZ, you
stop
said
us.
it was okay already.
I was
so-
like, he can't stop us from spoiling 15 in this podcast because it's relevant to the discussion.
I mean, KZ
Whatever,
already said a
to
couple
it,
podcasts.
Get to
Anyway.
it. I'm crumbling apart.
Gladio's sister fucked Noctis while he was asleep, so you can make that child the protagonist of 15 too, because he's technically the new king of insomnia.
That's some real Boruto shit there.
That, I mean, she didn't even have
I-
a model after the time skip, so that just didn't happen.
I
No,
meant in terms of shit to do in the world, though.
Yeah.
Just make shit up. You don't fucking need to have something tying into the old thing.
Right?
Make shit
Make
up.
an entire thing up.
And then there were aliens.
Oh, you too watched Darling.
Now
So
there's
see,
DLC.
So see the star scourge that were the poorly defined alien mold that blocked out the sun in 15 it coalesces into a ball, and then that ball turns into Sin, and you have a redesigned Sin that is the antagonist of 15-2.
Yes.
That's kind of raw.
Okay, so we have to wrap this up. Is there anything
Please
more?
do.
Is there anything more you wanted to talk about with your concept, Aggro?
I feel like I could forever, but shouldn't ever.
Okay, great. I look forward to the next game we stumble into doing one of these for, where we go, we have to get him.
Right, maybe he'll replace me. Maybe my winning streak will end.
Armchair Get Quest 64-2.
I thought he had you too. I was like, there's no way that Casey's gonna select the one that's literal insanity.
Why not? It respects player intelligence.
I thought I could just bully him into it.
I considered it. I considered it because I'm like, I can't choose Feel. He doesn't deserve happiness on this fucking game pitch.
I wish you had, just so I could have like just started cackling and and more explicitly talked about ripping off my mask and being Compile Heart.
I was like, there's
We're-
sinister about this. Feel.
We're at the closing moment here. Do you have anything more to add to your master plan of being Compile Heart? I feel like
No, I didn't go as schlocky as I could have because I was trying to make something that would appeal to people who like schlock instead of going beyond into becoming Aggro's pitch. Where it's like where I go into the zone of, yeah, the DLC is about all the party's kids and each of their kids have the power of both their parents. Like, I wanted to stop before I got to there.
That would sell so hard. That's just Fire Emblem Awakening.
Yeah.
And that's raw.
As it turns out, Fire Emblem Awakening. Pretty raw.
The only people that dislike Fire Emblem Awakening are boomers.
Actually, Bob, the kids were the most unpopular characters in Fates to the extent they cut that mechanic in the next one.
Right, because that was the one where I screwed it up.
Yeah.
Because the kid didn't even, make sense.
Oh, God.
Isn't that the one with the kid dimension?
Yes.
That's the one where they get chucked into the baby void and age 18 years in the span of a week.
Aggro's taking this information in.
I had locked this information away.
Oh, so that was surfacing
That is some
on your face.
Twilight bullshit. Like, hey, you want to see what these two, their baby would look like and fuck it? We'll just pop it in the baby microwave. And it's not creepy anymore.
Aggro, Twilight is worse because they explained that the reason Jacob the werewolf wanted to fuck Bella that whole series is because he could sense the egg in her ovaries that would become that child.
Twilight seems pretty good. We should do content on that.
No, we shouldn't. We really shouldn't.
No, not for half a year. I can't handle that again for 6 months.
So we're gonna
Again,
go.
what are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about? KZ's pitch thing didn't allow for that at all.
This is gonna be out before. That's gonna be
God
out
damn
before
it.
this
I've
goes
lost
up.
track of time. We've already soiled ourselves.
It's okay, guys. Check this out. I'll just release every podcast we recorded this week.
Just release it in reverse order.
The worst part, though, and maybe, I don't know, Aggro, do you think this is a bad idea? I think that the actual beginning of the series should be sold as separate DLC on Patreon, so they don't know the actual order of these podcasts until they get the Patreon exclusive DLC podcast.
Does Patreon do season passes?
Patreon is a season pass.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we need another name for something else so we can charge more money for no reason.
That's the second Patreon you have to route them to.
That's a YouTube membership.
Oh.
Yeah. I actually had someone today at my job who's like, you stream on Twitch? And I'm like, well, we stream on both, but we tend to do YouTube. They're like, yeah, but that's subscriber money on Twitch. And I'm like, well, they have that on YouTube. It's called memberships. And he's like, oh, well, bits on Twitch. And I'm like, they have that on YouTube. It's called super chats. And he's like, oh. I'm like, yeah, it's really, like, you can go to Twitch. It's kind of just the same fucking thing. I don't know. Plus, Bob.
What's up?
If we were on Twitch, then that would make it too easy for KZ to co-host our stream. We need to be on YouTube so that way he has to tweet it and keep tweeting it and not just hit /host GigaBoots. Have a good night, everybody.